So let's talk a little bit about right-brained and left-brained, because people who are predominantly right-brained process sound 180 degrees differently from people who are left-brained. And as we're going to be balancing some voice prints here, hopefully, we're going to have to know if that we're dealing with a right-brained or a left-brained person. Left-brained people are generally allopathic, whereas right-brained people are more homeopathic. So right-brained people like more of what they already have too much of in order to balance, whereas a left-brained person would want less of what they already have too much of. That's allopathic. I'll say that again if you didn't understand it. Also, a sound that might strengthen a muscle for a left-brained person would have the opposite effect of weakening that muscle for a right-brained person. Let's see. There's a question here that says, when your voice print toning, how does it show the tones within the tones? When you don't quite understand that. Mark has a question about digital analog. Thanks, now. Voice was quiet. Digital and analog. Where are you, Mark? I'm scrolling. I don't see it. I could see it. The sound visual was a bit choppy. Voice was quiet. When I tone, sometimes there are layering of the tones. Yes, those are the harmonics that you're hearing on top of the fundamental that you're saying. Okay, back to the slides here. How to determine note opposites on the pitch pipe. So when we just talked about, for a left-brain person, a note could weaken one muscle and it could strengthen it for a right-brain person. So we need to know what are the opposite notes for left-brained and right-brained solutions, sound solutions. In order to find the opposite note, we're going to take the pitch pipe example of the note F. So if you put your finger on the F hole and then you count up clockwise. Now again, you're holding this so that the metal part of the pitch pipe is on the bottom and your thumbs are on the metal part and your fingers are on the top plastic part. If you've got it turned around, counting up clockwise is not going to work because it's upside down. So we have to hold it with the metal part down, put your finger on the F hole, and then count up 6 holes clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your finger ends up on the note hole B. B is the opposite note for the note F. All right? So here's a little quiz now. What is the opposite note of the note D sharp? So find the note D on your pitch pipe, and D sharp is the note in between D and E. So if you put your finger on the D sharp hole and count up 6 holes, you will get to the note A. Answer is A is the balancing note for D sharp, and vice versa. So that's how you find them on the pitch pipe. It's put your finger on the hole that you want to find the opposite note of, count up clockwise 6 holes, and you will find the balancing note. Okay, next. How to determine the activating notes on a pitch pipe. So the activating notes, the notes that really help kick those fundamentals into gear, are usually the 5th, 6th, and 7th holes higher up from your fundamental in a clockwise position. So activating notes for the fundamental of the note D are G, G sharp, and A. And they are the 5th, 6th, and 7th note holes up from the D. All right. Another type of biofeedback instrument is your own ear. So so far we've gone over, you could sing these harmonics, and we could use the biofeedback of the software, the nano voice recording software that we're going to do a little bit later in this presentation. So we had the biofeedback software, which is recording your voice and giving you information about the energy in your voice. That's biofeedback, right? Also, biofeedback information can be heard in your ear. Spontaneous Otto Acoustic Emissions, SOAE. And spontaneous Otto Acoustic Emissions happen in healthy ears. There are illnesses, of course, that cause your ears to ring, and that's not what we're talking about here. This spontaneous Otto Acoustic Emission is a natural sound, and what it is your ear actually trying to balance something that's out of balance in your system. So if you are able to hear these sounds like Sherry does, Sherry hears these sounds coming out of people. I am able to certainly hear these notes on myself constantly throughout the day, see how my body is adjusting itself in my ears. You can, I believe the article that Sherry put up, if you can moan, you can tone, which is downloadable now if you go to your control panel up on the top of WebEx. I think it's file transfer, and you can download the article that she put up there. If you can moan, you can tone. But there are ways of, you can cup your hand behind your ear and listen very carefully to see if you're hearing a sound, and then obviously the idea is to recreate that sound with your voice in a different octave, of course, because you can't sing as high as what your ear can play. So identify the note and either play and sing that note into the pitch pipe while singing its activating notes is one thing you could do. You could just sing the pitch by itself, or you can sing and play the activating notes or the opposite note that you're hearing coming out of your ear. One of those three things will balance that sound, and the sound will go away in your ear. Any questions about that? Let's see. Does the Nano Voice software show that? From everyone tomorrow. Yes, okay. Nano shows layers. Wouldn't this be harmonics of the different octaves? Yes. Mark, does the Nano Voice show the layering of the tones to demonstrate the tones and the layers of the different tones? To show the harmonics from the voice print in the toning. No, what the voice print is a result of how many times you used each note of the scale as you spoke. So if I didn't have any words here, you would be hearing they're all different notes of the scale, and the software identifies every time you sing one note or say one note or the other, and it just keeps track of it. And at the end, that note bar graph is how many times you spoke each note in the the different octaves that you used. So in one sense, the different octaves, yes, are harmonics of your fundamental, most commonly used octave that you speak in, but in other ways, they're really just the sounds that you're making with your voice, translating that into the notes of the scale. So a harmonic from D is a harmonic type pitch pipe, a good one to use. The best type of pitch pipe to use, D, would be a C to C. It's called the note C to the note C. So within the octave range of the note C, a C to C chromatic pitch pipe. And chromatic means it's going to have all 12 notes of the octave C on the pitch pipe.